My name is Newcom, and like so many of you here today, I am a mother, and I am honored to be with you, and I'm humbled by the reason that brought me here, so I thank you for that. All my interactions with the women from American Mothers have been affirming and encouraging, and it's clear that there's a spirit of unity and collegiality here, and you can feel it. Probably this organization from its beginning understood that it takes a village to raise a child, but it probably takes a chorus to take care of mothers, and you make a lovely chorus. So I'm grateful to have my husband Mark here with me today, and our oldest Strauss, who's taking video so that his little bro can see this. I do have a guest with me today, Sarah. I watched Sarah grow up in Forest City, was her Sunday school teacher, and then Mark and I were honored to sing at her and her wife's wedding here in Moines. And so we continue to watch Sarah and Christina and what they're doing in the world with pride. And she's taking Sky's place here in our family for us today, too. So Sky is a budding artist and musician who lives in the Twin Cities. And weekends are very big artisan opportunities for artists. So Sky, we see still now that Sky's 26, but not as often as we used to. And Emma's up there as an art teacher, so we are bathed in art and music still. Strauss and Sky are the reason that I'm here today because they taught me how to be a mom. As you know, children tell us who they are from the moment they first draw their breath. And they have personalities that are undeniable. Strauss's first surgeon, on the day that Strauss was born, looked down at him as he was crying and angrily pulling at the tubes and tapes on his face, and he said, "He's a fighter." That's good. And 31 years, countless physical and occupational therapy sessions later, 13 years of primary school, 8 years of college, working toward getting an associate's degree, 1 Eagle Scout honor, and 26 surgeries later, it's easy to see that Dr. Ukabiala was 100% right. Our second child arrived far more quietly, almost introspectively, taking in all the sights and sounds of every room, so much so that I had to keep moving Sky from room to room to keep Sky entertained or carry Sky with me wherever I went. The keen artist eye was already at work. Where Big Brother was concerned, little bro, as Strauss calls Sky, was eager to help. That's why I wasn't surprised when Sky earned money in college as a support person, taking care of people with intellectual and physical disabilities. And then he began the first job out of college as a paraeducator in a special education classroom. So yes, children arrive in the world unadulterated. In fact, I think that's just a perfect word to describe how children arrive. They are pure and not mixed with any extra element. In this context, I would even say that the word unadulterated could mean not messed up by adults. They arrive exactly who they are, and when a child tells us or shows us who they are, we need to listen and believe them. Indeed, they count on us to do exactly that. That's what my children have taught me. The single biggest lesson on my road less traveled has been this. And following where my children have led me has made all the difference. We each have a unique journey to motherhood, don't we? Mine began with a miscarriage in 1990, and then less than a year later, Mark and I welcomed Strauss David Newcom. Because he arrived with birth defects, they demanded instant attention, and he immediately ushered in for us a new way for us to witness the world that we couldn't even have imagined before. He brought a lifetime of experiences that can't adequately be explained, not to family, not to friends, not to your mom, not to your mother-in-law, not to your father, not to your father-in-law. The closest person here is Mark. We hadn't envisioned becoming a parent of a child with intellectual and physical disabilities, but with his first breath, that's who I was. Our fighter modeled the kind of person that I needed to become as a mother. That's the kind of mother I remained when 4 years later, Mark and I welcomed Sky. Sky inherited a mother whose identity had undergone a change. I had transformed from a full-time working professional with a stay-at-home husband. I thank Mark for those first 2 years. There's a lot of story in there. about not being able to find childcare for Strauss, and Mark was our nurturer, and Mark was our Mr. Mom, and I was the breadwinner. And I will remain forever indebted to Mark for that. Then, when it was my turn, I did what moms do. I carted around a baby to my older son's therapy and doctor appointments because that's what moms do. Fortunately, Sky showed me how to persistently take in the beauty of the world, reminding me that I had a heart for creativity too. I wish I could fully describe what those years are like, but they're absolutely a blur. I can cite statistics. Things like 2 hospitalizations for illness and 15 surgeries for Strauss by the time he was 18, and there have been 8 surgeries since. 31 birthday parties for Strauss, including 2 years where his entire class came to our backyard to be pirates, and then the next year, prince and princesses. There have been 26 birthday parties for Sky. His parties featured really expensive things now. But before they were like castle building, bowling, slime, and the color blue. About 5 deceased pet fish, 1 hermit crab, an epic family trip to Mesa, Arizona, by way of Colorado and the Grand Canyon, multiple family trips to see traveling Broadway shows like Wicked, Peter Pan, I don't get Scott Strauss will marry later, Lion King, Spring Awakening, once, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, School of Rock, and next week, Hamilton and Footloose. One's in Des Moines, one's in the cities. There have been countless speech contests, band concerts, choir performances, 4 high school musicals for Strauss, 7 high school musicals for Sky, who managed in middle school to figure out how to get into every high school musical with the kid part, a nearly dozen community theater performances for our entire family, well, with at least once, if not usually more, either on stage or in crew. I cannot calculate the numbers that it would be for Friday family pizza picnics, books read at bedtime, bath time, showers, bicycle rides, movie theater outings, bonfires, homework sessions around the dining room table. I don't even really want to know that number. Gatherings with grandparents and cousins, trips to church, road trips to restaurants, day trips to the Mississippi River, and other interesting landmarks within a little day's drive from Forest City. There's actually quite a lot. It's staggering to think about what all those years have contained. I only hope that the hugs and kisses and the I'm proud of yous measure up by comparison. I hope they outnumber everything else, but I don't know. And it's that nagging uncertainty, the daunting doubt of motherhood, if you will, that makes a day like today a bit of a mind trip. I would love to have enough time to hear the parenthood story of everybody in this entire room. We would have so much in common, and we have so many fascinating differences. What I would most want to learn is what you believe you have learned from your children. I'm confident I'm not the only one in this room who says something like, I don't deserve this. I don't need to be recognized for being a mom, right? And I would guess that the reasons we believe that are as numerous as the people in this room. For me, it draws attention to what I still do every day. And it reminds me that my version of motherhood is statistically uncommon. According to the United States Census Bureau, you will not be tested on any of this later if it's just offered for your information. According to the United States Census Bureau, over 3 million children under 18 had a disability in 2019. That's 4% of the childhood population under 18. Last year, there were 3.7 million babies born in the United States. Of that, only 1,400 were born with spina bifida. I can't tell you how many were born with spina bifida and an intellectual disability. They don't keep those statistics like that. Once you start tracking disabilities as people become adults over 18, it gets more difficult because we like to put them into categories. So you can't calculate it. They just fine-tune what that disability is. It merges congenital disabilities with things like disease or disabilities caused by accident or disabilities that become because we get older. I can tell you that in 2020, the United States Census reported that 8.2 million adults over the age of 18 cited a supported living facility as their home. 8.2 million people in the United States. Strauss lives with us. While I don't have a child that represents the population I just told you about, those will forever be the parents that I identify with most. We are the never truly empty nesters. I don't say that with sadness, I say that with a dose of reality. We're the ones who metaphorically planned that vacation to Italy, but were taken to Holland. Really, we were exiled to Holland. Because unlike a vacation, you don't really get to go back. Typical motherhood and parenthood don't happen once you've moved or been sent to Holland. But here's the thing. My exiled version of parenthood opened me to the joys, fears, pain, hopes of more fathers and mothers than I could have ever imagined in my life BS before Strauss. And when Sky came along, my heart began to ache with longing. I'm going to prepare you. I will try to get through this without crying. Moms and dads cannot know the deep wonder of a baby's toes just wiggling effortlessly and without even any thought while they're eating. You cannot take in the beauty and wonder of that if you haven't also keenly felt the absence of it. To me, that is motherhood. The only person in my life who comes close to understanding this is Mark, whose nurturing abilities made him a far better mother than me in the earliest years of our parenting journey, and I am not too proud to admit that. We adapted a collaborative parenting approach early on. We understood we needed a team to keep our child alive and thriving. It helped us capitalize on our individual strengths and help compensate for our weaknesses. Gratefully, scores of family members and friends became part of our team, and through the years it expanded with doctors and therapists and educators and so many people in our community. We made certain everybody adhered to one shared mission statement: to help Strauss become the best Strauss he could be. Our task was to let Strauss point the way for us, and then we just followed. When he showed us what he needed, it was our job to supply it, support it, and nurture it. And then when Sky came along, our mission was exactly the same: to help Sky become the best Sky's meant to be. We have loved watching Sky grow into a musician and an artist with a deep connection to people who are most vulnerable in our society. I am deeply grateful for my children and how they've helped me become the best Joy I can be. They've taught me that I am my best when I regard each person I encounter as somebody else's child. They've reminded me that I am called to extend to others the kind of love and respect that I expect from my children, no matter who they are. You just love them anyway. You listen when people tell you who they are, and you believe them. You watch people show you who they are, and then you celebrate them. Isn't that the kind of unconditional love we're called to be for each other? That's motherhood. That's fatherhood. That's parenthood. That's being somebody's neighbor. That's the way to live. Near the end of Strauss's middle school years, we learned through targeted genetic testing conducted by the Mayo Clinic that Strauss's unique combination of birth anomalies had never been documented before. Not at Mayo Clinic, not in any medical facility that they share a database with in the entire world. They were lucky to find it even. His physical mutations have nothing to do with the chromosomal mutations that scientists found inside that 22nd chromosome almost by accident. I used to want to elevate that mysterious phenomenon as like, isn't that astounding or mind-blowingly grandiose, and we got this? But here's the thing. Each one of us is that randomly unique and special. Every single one of us is that unbelievably exclusive in the world. And every single one of our children and every human being out there absolutely is. If I had to pick the most wonderful part of motherhood, it's that. Mothers, fathers, parents, guardians have this wonderfully divine opportunity to welcome new lives into the world exactly as who they are, and to celebrate that, pure and unadulterated. Celebrate every person as a gift. We get to watch and and listen and observe as they let us know who they are so we can use to the best of our ability who we are and honor that. We don't have to limit ourselves to only our children. We can help everybody. We're a mighty village. You make an incredible chorus. And we're stronger and beautiful because of that diversity. Again, children tell us exactly who they are. And when they show us, we need to believe them. I sincerely thank you for giving me the chance to remember that as I got ready for this day. And I thank you for the chance to be here. I'm grateful. Thank you.